Well, I guess I had the opportunity again. Let's consider the idea of, I'd say, let's get right to it. But I think, somewhat it's been a few months. It's, the last one I didn't get much of a watchings. It's just, I'm not getting picked up into the YouTube universe. Uh, so at some point you say, well, it's not worth it. At other points, I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Uh, you know, maybe one day something around, another incident will happen where people be home, similar to COVID situation, no telling. Or somebody will find me and start watching the videos. Sometimes it comes about, is it that one person that matters? Um, and to that one person, yes, they're the ones who, need rescuing. Uh, you're stuck on a boat by yourself, engines out. You're not worried about anyone else. It's you who needs rescue. And if one person comes along, that's all you need. With a boat, and a rope, and ability to pull you in. So I thought about, I looked at Brother Bob. I tried to tell a friend one day, not too long ago, where to find me, and I pretty much had to specifically write out Brother Bob. Pretty much just, I finally found my videos and pretty much sent a direct link to him. It's ridiculous. It's just not in the search. This stuff is just not of interest. It's just not booming and clicking. Now, of course, there's the idea of YouTube. It's just not YouTube stuff, but I think it kind of is. It's the people. We had this whole thing that started here recently about Jesus' love. Well, it is true, but he's also has rules and things. It's sort of a family where it's parents have rules. A good family. Sometimes it's difficult to understand God and Jesus and being the father when you've had a bad father, and you'll hear that from many educated people in their statement on that, how not everyone's going to have that kind of educated understanding because they didn't have the family. So um, so today I'm gonna add another one. Uh, this one's important because this is something that everyone's going to face into. I found my way back. It's relatively quiet at the moment. We'll see how it goes. I found my way back. We're getting back in the summer where the days are longer and I have the ability to come through and do these things in the evening with daylight. I guess I could do it in the dark still. Anyway, so back at the nice little gazebo in the park, I found my rocking chair that I've sit in before. It's still here. Everything's still capable, it looks like, of doing another video as I've done before. This seems to be the best area when things are right. Heavy traffic in the back, but I find my voice is still hearable. I guess maybe because it's pointed, the phone's pointed, and there's something about this S22 Ultra that and maybe some of the other new cell phones that the voice picks up forward when you're doing video, which is good. Technology and stuff like that. Anyway, I've got my newer tablet that I've replaced. Saw the reviews probably here recently. So what I want to get into now is going to be, we'll find some script on it, is basically dead and gone. What has happened recently, and I've had a chance to do a video now, is my, as you obviously have seen the ring in the other videos, I'm not going to deny that I'm married. Didn't talk much about family, but I talk a little about it. But I try to talk a lot about the Bible and everything else as far as helping things. The idea of me being married doesn't probably do a lot of self-help, but it is true. And so at the same time, this concept also is to be said that things happen not only in my family, but in the being married, you have extended family. And that's where some things have come along, where my father-in-law has passed away. And he was goes up on age, but at the same time, you always want another year, and you'll never stop wanting another year. You want your parents to be around to their 100 and something. Somebody made 113, which is nearing the records. Oh, they made it. Why can't I be that one that has a parent that makes 114? But it's going to come to an end. Of course, we all want more time. God does say something about how it's going to come to an end, and it comes to an end when it needs to come to an end. One of the things that I've kind of studied on and thought about was some of the concepts of, well, maybe they should live longer, but at the same time, people have their time, and it doesn't change. Now, we can say that we can be sad, or we can say that God should have given more time. But you can be angry at the doctors. Well, the doctors, were they the ones who are responsible? Sometimes they do seriously make a mistake. But when somebody's failing health, doctors are not God. They work with the hands of God, God through them, through their education, through their life ability, their limitations. But we have been able to do amazing things in the medical to extend life. And that's good. I don't think there is a problem with extending life out there. There is the fact that it will only extend so long. They're working on getting it extended out further. They said something about this time, some of the people that are living now in their 20s will live on to their 120s. It's possible. We've got a lot of technology out there as far as doctors, their medicine and their prolonging of life, some of the vitamins, some of the health risk problems that we solve. I said that to somebody the other day. I mean, people still drink wine and drink a beer or two, but I've noticed that a lot of heavy drinking, a lot of smoking, it has gone down, in my opinion, of many people. Now you may run around the group, we've had another whole message on that, but you may run around the group that smokes and drinks a lot. But I think as overall average, the more people I'm seeing, I mean, it's not for morality, it's not for much of anything like that. As it is, some people say, well, I wanted to lose weight, I wanted to feel better, I wanted to quit drinking, and they did. They found that beer was kind of fattening. So it's just, even with the light beer and all that stuff, cigarettes, saw people over the years who smoke, and it does seem more so that maybe they are preservatives, whatever they're putting in the cigarettes, seem to be causing more troubles, or maybe people pay more attention to the ones who don't smoke versus the ones who do smoke. They're seeing the life of things. I know there's people who smoke, it's just the electronics, the VCRs, the early days, and the DVD players, and then I've seen walls of people who smoke, it's just yellow. But the equipment gets damaged. Obviously smoke is toxic. Now, you inhale, but if the smoke's in the air, you're breathing it in, that secondhand smoke. Maybe in open areas it's not near as bad, but when you get into one apartment or something, one room in a house where you smoke all the time, and you've got other people, or especially in the car, oh, it's ridiculous. Some of these people smoke so heavily you can't even breathe. Anyway, so what I want to do, I guess, is these messages are on doing better, and there's some of the things you can look at doing better with, that people who are not smoking, people who are controlling their drinking, they're doing pretty good in life. They're doing. Now, I know there's people who are alcoholics that can do things that are unimaginable. Sometimes alcohol does give you a little more ability, but I've seen those people who are alcoholics, they get so drowned out in their alcoholism that it gets to where their nerves are shaky. It really does affect their health. Those are true alcoholics who drink all the time. and they just drown themselves. I think you do the same thing with water. I've heard of that. So it's too much of anything they say. Well, anyway, so we're going to get down here to the idea of some scriptures about being, passing on and being gone, because I used to say sometimes you can fast forward to the good part of this video, share it with somebody, say, look, I need you to share this. This is something that's helpful. This is something somebody said. Something I have said. That somebody said, hey, this person here said this about death. We're all going to experience it. That's why I give this salvation message many times in these videos. Choose Jesus. He's the one who's got the way. And of course, many people argue there's other ways, being a good person, everything like that. I think if you dig down deep into the Bible, you'll find that those who follow Jesus found their way, whereas those who were worshiping other gods didn't really find their way, if you will. And then when they did see Jesus, they found that help they couldn't get anywhere else. Jesus rose again from the grave. That's a whole other story. Easter, start looking at all that, all those things about how he rose from the grave, the prophecies he fulfilled. No one else did that. Asked, was he really dead? There's a whole bunch of archaeological information on that too. Speaks of him being dead, and the Romans did not want him coming back to life because he promised that. So you got to keep in mind the Romans not only didn't want him coming back, they made sure that he was secured. The Romans were doing their job under penalty of threat of death, because in the Bible, when Paul and Silas was in the prison, and the gates from the earthquake come open, that jailer was about to fall on a sword. That's how serious the people are about protection, prisoners, making sure they stay there, and not allowing anything to happen. Last thing I need to do is kidnap Jesus. And of course, there was many witnesses. These people knew who Jesus was. When they talked to him, there was no question that this was someone else. And you'll find that, I did a little class in church, did a little research, but it comes from God's Not Dead. This is not a conspiracy theory that, as they say, that has greatness to it. These are things that people were under pressure to shut up about, to put it bluntly. These are things that you're not bragging about. Hey, I knew Jesus. This is stuff that they were trying to hush up. Claiming that you knew Jesus, claiming Christianity. That wasn't some hero-ness. That was craziness in a way. That was stuff that would make you a martyr to an extent, but it's also stuff that gets you killed. All the apostles, eventually, there's a list in the Bible, or not in the Bible, but a list about the apostles in the Bible, about how they all died, except I think John lived to be an old age, but they all died very bad death. I think it was Peter was crucified, but he was crucified upside down or something, because he didn't want to be crucified like Jesus. He wasn't worthy. So anyway, so we're going to move on. This is the most important thing. Is always I put scriptures directly, so you can forget about my rambling and actually hear a scripture. But it's going to be, in this particular case, we're going to read some straight scriptures, because it comes to the fact that losing somebody, you may have to take a day off or 2 days off. Oh yeah, right. No, you're going to think about how I'm never wanting to return back to life again. The world has stopped. The world is no longer turning. I just can't go back outside. I'm depressed. I'm sad. In this case, not saying father-in-law. You're saying anyone that's close to you, brother, sister, son, daughter, anyone, a wife, husband, anyone that mother, father, all these people, you've lost. They're gone from your life. You watch people grieving, and then it's not always grieving that you're gonna feel. You're gonna feel some anger. There's seven or six things about the whole idea of the grieving process. I think let's see if I can find that real quick because I think that's important to understand the things you're going to go through whenever somebody passes away. Grieving. Let's try grieving. Grieving process. Maybe that's. Yeah. Oh yes. Okay. Good. This is called Verywell Mind. As always, I tell you where it's pretty much from. This is from verywellmind.com. How the 5 stages of grief can help process a loss. But now it says down here, what is the 7 steps of grieving process? So I'd say there's 7 of them. So we'll go here instead. And this is from the stages of inner model or denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. 7 stages of grief include the 5 stages Dr. Kubler-Ross outlined, but also include guilt and an upward turn and reconstruction. So there's 5, but it's also referring to getting past it. This, I think we're going to go down to 5 though. I can find it here. This is on the Verywell Mind. And we'll do this. What are the 5 stages of grief? Now you can always kind of study deeper into this stuff. Denial is the first stage of grieving process. Now it says we go through 5 different stages after the loss of a loved one. Now I've already read elsewhere in some of this that they overlap. They don't always go in order. They kind of, some of them happen at the same time. So we have denial. The first stage of the grieving process. Denial helps us minimize the overwhelming pain of loss. As we process the reality of our loss, we are also trying to survive emotional pain. It can be hard to believe that we have lost an important person in our lives, especially when we have just spoken with them the previous week, even the previous day. And that's so true. Everyone is just fine yesterday. They're just, I've known somebody who passed away of a heart attack. He's going to Lowe's, and he arrived at Lowe's, and I guess I understand he's either loading the vehicle or getting out of his truck or somewhere in the process. It was in the afternoon, and he had just passed out, had a heart attack, and that was it. So we have to look at the fact that it's anywhere, anytime, in any moment. Let's see. Now anger is kind of somewhere in this second stage in grieving is anger. We're trying to adjust to new reality and are likely experiencing extreme emotional discomfort. There's so much to process that anger may feel like it allows us emotional outlet. I can understand that. That's what I spoke about earlier about the anger against the people who are the doctors. They should have done something. They should have fixed this problem. Now here's the interesting thing. This is one that I think I see a lot of times. It's called bargaining. When coping with loss, it is unusual to feel so desperate that you're willing to do anything to alleviate or minimize pain. During the stage of grieving, you may try to bargain to change the situation, agreeing to do something in return for being relieved of the pain you feel. When bargaining starts to take place, we often direct a request to higher power, something bigger, influence the outcome. Bargaining during the grieving process can come from a variety of God, if you can heal this person, I will turn my life around. I promise to be better and not if you let this person live. I'll never get angry again if you can stop him from dying. Now this is stuff that is in one of the 5 steps, but now this particular person writing here is speaking of that person hasn't passed away. But now I'm going to tell you that in the other articles I've read on this study before I've done this video, bargaining kind of came from we did more to see there's depression, but bargaining came somewhat with if I would have only done this, it's not exactly bargaining for when their life is ended. You have to accept it. They're gone. But we have this not only related to death, this whole concept of some of the stuff that I'm reading through the grieving is for somebody still alive also. But you're going to find this same stuff in death. But there's some things that bargaining will not do. I mean, it's too late. You have to accept that it's over. Now, see, here we're coming down here in acceptance. But we're going to do depression. It says, during our experience of process of grief, there comes a time when our imagination calms down, slowly start to look at the reality of the present situation. Bargaining no longer feels like an option, and we are faced with what's happening. See, now that's where we can see the bargaining's done. We got a depression. Don't want to go outside. Don't want to do anything. It's not going to be 2 days. It's going to be somebody special that's going to go on for. It doesn't say this is what I'm saying from experience. People, it's going to go on for days and weeks and even months, and sometimes a year. I know we find part of the year, but then holidays, special time of year comes, Christmas, and they're not with you. It's bad. You're gonna have troubles. You ever get over that? No, I don't think you do. But you have to look towards the future life of doing things. You got to pick yourself up like everyone else does. If every generation before you messed up every time that their parents died, passed away, we've never functioned as a society. It's got to be moving forward to doing greatness for if you have kids, doing for them, or if you are doing something for society to make things better. Doing something for yourself to even make things better. Acceptance, the last 5 stages of grief is acceptance. We'll come to the place of acceptance. It's not that we no longer feel the pain of loss. Instead, we are no longer resting in the reality of our situation, resisting the reality of our situation. We're not struggling to make it something different. See, and this, here we go down here. They're going to actually tell you about how long the grief stages last. There's no specific time period for any of these stages. One person may experience the stage quickly, such as a matter of weeks, whereas the other person may take months or even years to move through the stages of grieving. Whatever time it takes for you to move through the stages is perfectly normal. As we consider 5 stages of grief, it's important to note that people grieve differently. So there's the lines of the grieving process stages are often blurred. We also move from one stage to another and possibly back again before moving to a new stage. So anyway, so there's the process of life, and this is grieving through different things that obviously the normal person is going to feel: hate, anger, you're going to feel the depression. And this is someone's the 7th stage of the grieving process is guilt and upward turn and reconstruction. So let's see here. We're going to see if we can find some extra scripture down here. It's coming. Oh. So anyway, grieving process scripture or Bible verses. Now, some of these people, don't believe in God, don't believe in Jesus, that may be watching this. Probably you are somewhat of a Christian if you're watching this, because I can't seem to get anybody interested in this unless they're directly looking for me and directly have a heart for God to the point that they're watching all the things they can find. For somebody who's not really Christian, that's sitting through all this mumble jumble stuff that has a lot of Christian-based scripture and things in it, I don't know how much somebody's reading it. But at the same time, I'm trying to help you. I'm sure you've found many other things of trying to help. And this is one of the things, like I spoke of COVID, where you're at home. If you're at home grieving and you just don't know what to do, this is why we have this video that you found your way upon. There's some other videos too, I'm sure, but you found this video because you've had nothing but time to listen, because you're not going anywhere, you're not doing anything, you're trying to figure things out. So the more you hear about how to figure things out, and the best thing to figure out is to have God, who created this world with His plan, because it's the process of life that He's created, and that's the same process you have to continue on with to feel right. Let's see, this is going to be from Bible verses about grief, compiled by the Bible Study Tool staff. This is from the January 30th of 2023. So, top Bible verses, grief, comfort. Uh, see, Matthew 5:4. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Um, Revelation 21:4. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more. Neither shall there be mourning, nor crying, nor pain anymore, for the former things have passed away. Now, that's pretty much saying, I think, on the end times, eventually everyone's going to be in heaven, and there, of course, will be a new earth and everything else. So we're not permanent on never seeing our friends and loved ones again. So let's see, Psalms 147:3. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. So put your faith in God and lean on Him. As I say, it's God's plan. And these people who passed away, if they've done their life right, they're Christians, they've gone on to an amazing place of peace. Casting all your anxieties upon, here we go. 1 Peter 5:7, casting all your anxieties on Him because He cares for you. Psalm 34:18, the Lord is near the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Matthew 11:28-30, come to me all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and lean from me. I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your soul. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. So let's see, take a yoke and learn from me. So I am gentle and lowly in heart. So he's saying that Jesus is basically saying that I will give you rest, saying that He's not going to put more on you than what you can handle, as they say. So let's see. We're all going to handle it. We all do handle it. We all handle the loss of loved ones if everything works out properly. I have seen it happen more than once where the children die long before the mother and father. That is not good at all, but it happens, and it is possible to a large extent to move forward as people do. There'll always be a special place in your hearts, as people will never be the same again, but they are able to function in society and do some good things for themselves on good days, getting their own mental health up. Because if your mental health is down, you're not doing anything of value into this world. You say, well, why would I want to even stay? But the same woman who lost a child once has comforted so many others and found her calling, go around and comfort people who've lost children, help them move forward for the other children they may have, or help them move forward to feel better about their life. Because God gives us life here to go do things, or be okay. This life is fractured, this life is messed up. It's just the reality of things, that things are going to go bad things are going to happen. God gives us a place to go to after it's all over with, but this world is not good at all many times. So God's not going to fix everything till He creates a new world. It's fractured. We've been built different. We've been built to live on this earth where there's bad things. So He creates a new earth. We're here with the bad things so that we can choose good. So let's see here. Well, I think I've kind of said most of it anyway. So anyway, I guess after that's going to be some kind of more rambling I'm going to be doing here. So anyway, like I said, we've done the 5 stages grieving process. As always, we know the idea, concept of following Jesus, because we want to go where they're going. There's a song about that, and a few other songs about heaven, going there. We want to go there, and loved ones there, We want to be with Him. Now, there's sometimes it's very hard as a preacher to preach a message for somebody not a Christian, that straight denied their faith in God. Now, sometimes there's people who are Christians that we will never know, because that's a personal relationship. It's a personal moment that you've had, that you've accepted God, Jesus, that you've accepted His will and His way. But for the others, they can claim it. I think if somebody claims it, they pretty much are a Christian. But maybe somebody wants to just say it sometimes, just to keep somebody from harassing them about, being a Christian, being, with Jesus. They don't want to hear about being with Jesus. They don't want to hear somebody preach to them. So maybe they say, "Yeah, I'm a Christian," so we can move forward and we can talk about something else, because they don't want to have that conversation. Something about, like, salesman will say something. "Oh, I already have one of those." Selling Christianity, I already have that. So, but keep in mind that it's a personal thing. Now, they have said, "Hey, I don't want to be a Christian because I have to quit drinking. I don't want to be a Christian because I got to quit smoking." Well, some of the Christians drink and smoke, but it's a different changing of heart and attitude. You want to be a Christian for the fact that you want to secure a future. And I know there's people who say, "Well, I'm not good enough to be a Christian." The one situation that runs it for everybody is when Jesus died on the cross, there was two other people there. One didn't care, didn't want anything to do with it, and it's pretty certain that he was going to die and go to hell. The ideal concept was you had to murder somebody, or you had a serious problem because you were being crucified, was one of the worst ways. That wasn't something normal that was for a thief. So we can gather that these were some of the worst of worst. And that messes everyone up, because you got to live a good life. One man truly said, "Look, I messed up. I've done wrong. It's just me and you, Jesus. Obviously, I'm messed up because I'm on this cross with you. I want forgiveness." And Jesus said, "Come on with me. You'll be in paradise." Or you'll be in paradise. So that messes a lot of people up on all the things you got to know. It's simple. Say, "I want to choose Jesus," and then worry about all the other stuff as time goes by, as you read the Bible and understand more, what God wants out of you. Those people are good, strong Christians. Some of them are maybe a little overzealous and overdoing it. Some, I think we do that with a lot of things. I do the videos here because I feel called to do them. I feel like I need to try to help people. And I don't know if I do or don't. I doubt I do. Nobody's ever finding these videos. They're so buried in YouTube. But I feel like I've done my job. I feel like I got here. I've spent my time doing it. Sometimes, they say, "Oh, you just do stuff, listen instead of talk." Well, I don't know. I just put it out there. Tell you the situation, make the videos. I think society does need to try to work to be a better society. The Bible says things are going to get worse. I see a lot of bad stuff in society. Maybe there's too many TikToks and too many other crazy, stupid things going on. Not all that say TikTok is bad. It's funny. We need our ability to have fun. We need our ability to laugh and enjoy life. But we also, some of these challenges seem like they're harmful. We need to throw out some good stuff out there to better yourself. When you do that, better your life, you can find a peaceful life, feel purpose, or feel like, when you get up in the morning that, "Oh, I hate my life, I hate my day." Well, this is the time to say, "Well, I've preached so many times on these other videos. Go find something to do." I know it's difficult sometimes to find something to do because it's, you're down in a hole and you don't see the rest of the world. There's so much out there. Now, sometimes if I want to start listing them, I might think, "Well, what am I going to do in my little small town?" But sometimes you may have to start something new, and sometimes it's all not going to happen. But just keep your eyes looking forward and ears open for an opportunity to do something. Go out to an event, go out, you know, like some little theme in the park or something, movie in the park. Just, you got to get out. That's all there is to it. The more you're out, the more somebody say something, or you'll see an opportunity to volunteer, get involved in the church, or, you know, there's some of the older ladies, not at my church anymore, but they did some of the other churches, did a quilting group, then they sell for charity, stuff like that. There's so many projects that we can do. But you got to get out. That's how you move forward. And all the ones I've seen that have had a loved one pass away, is you've got to do something with your life. You've been given the life. You've been continued. Now there's a little bit of guilt on that. Say, well, you know, why is it me? Because especially as a child. But at the same time, it's like your way of life is just continuing. And now you've got to do something with it. How maybe disappointing it is that your father, mother, somebody's passed away. They're expecting you as a child now to do many, many things as they did, as they had to get over their parents. Now, maybe there's some parents that never got over their mother and father. There's always that hole in your heart, but I think for the most part, most parents got over their family before them. Sometimes they get to be a pretty old age before their parents pass away, but sometimes at a young age. And I was saying get over it. You don't exactly get over it, but it is the idea that you're able to get up and function in society. And when you function, you feel better, because if you sit there and mourn for too long and never want to do anything with your life, you've broken that chain of generational things that is not how life should be lived. And it's just been depressed and everything else. You can find purpose and do things in life, and find some enjoyment. There's life to be enjoyed. And those who find it, they find it, they enjoy it. So anyway, I hope you come up with some ideas. Go do something first before you decide that you're going to be depressed for the rest of your life. Go find a couple of things to do. Maybe then you can come home and be depressed after you run out of things to do. But you got to keep looking. I don't know if you're ever going to run out of things to do if you ever get going. Somewhat, it is, I said in some other videos, get out. Forget this place. Forget the city. Forget the state. Forget the country even. You might end up in another country. But a missionary, way in the middle of nowhere, but you're doing something when you wake up in the morning. Because, you know, you're dead here. So if you're dead here, you need to be alive. You need to find life. You may have to go a distance. But what difference does that make? What difference does it make that you got to go a distance? Because here you're dead. You're useless to yourself. You're unhappy. You're going to be depressed. Don't worry about leaving. What are you leaving behind? Nothing. You're leaving death behind you. You're coming back alive because you were never dead in the first place. Physically, you were dead mentally. Go out and have some fun. Be safe. We'll see you.